there, I am Jenni Walke from Elephant in the Room Consulting, and my digital BFF, Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media are here, and you're tuning into Bite Size Business Live podcast. This is the show that helps small business owners get clarity and insight to grow their business dreams. How are you today, Kylie?
I'm super good, thanks, Jenni. What about you?
I am doing really, really well. I've had an amazing week. We had an amazing workshop yesterday, and I got to see the new video. I don't know if you've seen it, the 1-minute video from the Uluru Statement of the Heart promoting the referendum next year. It is the most incredible video. I played it in a workshop yesterday, and there were literally tears from the participants. It's the most moving 1 minute you'll see. So I'd love to, I'm going to put that in our group today. So I'd love everyone to have a look at it. Or go to Elephant in the Room Facebook page. You can view it there.
Oh, Jenni, I want to see that.
It's so cool. It's only a minute. It's only like 1 minute long, but it is the most amazing 1 minute you'll see.
Oh, I'm feeling a little bit, what's the word? Emotional this week. I'm getting moved, and I want to be moved by really powerful things. So
well, yeah, if you've got, I don't know if we can do this on our live stream. Can we live stream it and view it?
Of course we can. Go and share.
So how about if you make sure I can share, let us do this, because it's pretty awesome. And for those who don't know much about this, if you're tuning in overseas, we're looking at doing a referendum in the next year to provide a voice for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in Australia. We don't have that in our constitution at the moment. And this is the first presentation, or the first ad, I guess, that they're doing about it. So it's on this amazing website, ulurustatement.org. The focus is history is calling, and this is only a minute. So I really encourage you to just enjoy this next 1 minute, and then we'll come back. Thanks, Kylie.
Yay.
Oh, probably have to skip the ad first.
I can't hear the sound, Jenni.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Okay, how do we do that?
See the volume down the bottom next to the play?
Boom.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, people. Technical difficulties.
It's a good one.
I can only hear it super, like barely even faintly.
1,000 years they've been speaking.
At 363 languages. But no voice. No say on matters which affected them. It wasn't right.
So, me and your granddad.
Me and your mum. The whole nation did something about it. People called their friends and families. People talked about it on the streets, talked about it at work, on the field. Everybody made a song and dance about it.
Everyone walked side by side.
That's how we changed this country for the better. How we made history.
Is it true?
It could be.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful, Jenni.
So I just thought I'd share. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear the sound very well, but we'll post the link into the chat, and for those on the website, if we can do that. It's just the most incredible. Like, I get chills watching it, but yeah, I thought we'd start with that today.
That's so moving. And can you also share a little bit more, because I know that you've launched your new, really extraordinarily philanthropic, beautiful part of your business. You want to share a bit more about that?
Oh, that's really kind. Yeah, so the Uluru Statement has been around for some time. However, it hasn't really had a lot of traction till this year. And really, it's an opportunity for us to come together. It was a statement done many years ago by a group of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples came together to talk about what the future looked like for Indigenous peoples in Australia. And really it starts with providing a voice to Parliament. We're looking at treaty, of course, but really it's about this conversation at the moment is about recognising the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here in Australia through our constitution, which we do not have at the moment. And so that is a big gap in our ability to provide a voice by saying, you know, we don't exist in the constitution. We can vote, we can fight for our country, for our military, we pay taxes, but we don't have that voice. So this is the first message that they're putting out today, hoping to create the opportunity for the referendum next year. year to enshrine that voice in our constitution. For us, we as an Indigenous business spend a lot of time wondering about how we're going to give back. We're a small company. We don't have a huge footprint with regard to staff. But in the last couple of years, we've been doing a lot of work with Indigenous businesses and non-Indigenous businesses for that matter to improve their business success. So providing grants, we do a lot of pro bono work and a lot of low bono work to support businesses grow. And we decided we wanted to do more. And so we have decided to become a sponsor for the Yallery Foundation, which is a foundation based here in Queensland, although it goes nationally. And the Yallery Foundation provides opportunities for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students to be educated in a private school, generally restricted access because of financial means for most Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So it's a 6-year sponsorship, and we pay a fee every year to sponsor one child through that, but we're also going to provide support through mentoring and tutoring. So we have that opportunity as a sponsor to not only give some money, but we can also give some time and connect potential people to help tutor some of the students who are, struggling with that transition or just, don't like math.
So brilliant, Jenni. I saw that it was launched. I'm like, go you. It's just absolutely a little bit of magic. So yay. Congratulations. How awesome. The other night I came across, I was looking up on YouTube about ideas for alternatives to monarchy, republic stuff, not that I'm sharing my views personally on any of that at this point, but really I was just seeing what are people saying, what's going on out there, etc. I saw this incredible little piece, so I really urge you to go and look up YouTube, The Project, Channel 10's The Project, and Waleed had done a piece about what he thought could be an alternative, and it was all about an Indigenous option. And it was absolutely extraordinary. It was very, very moving. And maybe that's where it started for me, Jenni, earlier this week, where I was just like, oh, and I've thought about it so many times since then. And I've thought how absolutely magical that would be. So my brain has gone to a lot of places this week, like, how could that actually happen? Where are the Australian people in terms of supporting that kind of thing? And even let's just forget the whole, if it was to replace the monarchy situation, like realistically, it should just be here regardless. So pretty extraordinary. So I'll see if I can find that
please.
Clip. Well, I will find that clip and then I'll share that in the caption.
We would love that. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Was definitely a little bit of magic there. So yeah, awesome. So let's though look at our topic, which is, and actually before we do, I know it's really weird for us to talk at the beginning about our next topic, but I felt so strongly this week that we need to invite Brad from XY Zulu back again to talk about security. And ever since this whole Optus thing has blown up, how crazy is that? Brad and I have been talking about, I use LastPass with his 1Password. There's all kinds of things. I know you use that too. And talking about our data and how we can keep it safer and how we should do passwords. So I was talking to someone the other day who said to me, they have the same password for every single thing. I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean? And she goes, yeah, I've had the same password since I ever had to begin with a digital password. It's like, wow. And she goes, it's okay. That way I don't have to have them recorded anywhere because they're just the same one. I'm like, so that means if someone gets your password, that's it for everything.
Yeah.
So I just thought that would be really, really poignant too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's available next week, but we'll see and bring him on in, I think. And
I think that's a phenomenal. Well, we're having that conversation at the moment because, of course, we're an Optus business customer and we're traveling to the US in 3 weeks.
Oh,
so we're trying to remember, did we use our passports for identification? I don't know if we did or not. And that's what we have to go back and see whether or not, we're going to be traveling. Like we haven't had a breach, thankfully, and we can't see any breaches at the moment on our finances or anything else. However, and I think we're lucky that we've already got the home loan done, so we don't have to go back and worry about that now, at least from that perspective. But there is that challenge of, oh my gosh, what happens in the next 3 weeks if someone's used our passports? We'll have to get a new passport somehow before the 24th of October.
Oh, Jenni.
So it's a bit scary. But here in Queensland, they do apparently here in Queensland, if you have been impacted by the breach, I heard yesterday on the radio that you can actually go into the Department of Transport and Main Roads here, get a new license, and they send the invoice to Optus directly, so you don't have to reimburse here in Queensland. So you can actually just go to TMR, get your new license, get your new license number, and they just send the invoice directly to Optus. So I'm told. So don't quote me on that. But I love that idea. Like, I mean, that's what you should be doing, right? Taking initiative like that and saying, yeah, we'll make it work.
Absolutely. It's been really fascinating watching it all unfold. And really, I've just cried for the poor CEO of Optus. It's not their exact one person's fault. So it's just awful. But it's really been such a good learning lesson for all of us in business. I know they're a ginormous company and we're small businesses, but really such a good highlighter of the importance of communication, the importance, and I'm not even talking the importance of it not happening in the first place, but the importance of what happens in the aftermath and what you're doing to deal with that. So we can talk about that even more in detail next week. Yeah, hoping, fingers crossed, I'll chat with them later on and see if we can get them on. But I think, super, super poignant. And for any of you out there that has been affected, my heart goes out to you. It's
not fun.
It's tough.
But today we're talking about website analytics and how important it is to actually look at your analytics, which I know for some people are like, why are we talking about data? My head is like, my eyes are rolling back in my head and I'm done now. But this is such an important piece because your website analytics can tell you so much about what you should and shouldn't be doing on your website, can't they?
They so can. And I totally hear you, Jenny, when you said some people like rolling their eyeballs back and going, no. Many people feel the same way, whether it's social media analytics, whether it's just the back end of your accounts, back end of Xero or whatever it is, studying numbers and things can be quite stressful for some. However, there's actually so much that we can learn about what we should be doing more of, what we should be doing less of, just by taking maybe even just a little monthly look or a 6-monthly study of our website analytics. Yes, also our social media analytics, but today I particularly want to talk about website analytics. The reason being that last week we talked about blogging. And so what is so important is to have a little look at your all the pages that people are landing on and what's ranking really high for you. So for example, we've got one page, the why and what of us, which shares a little bit about our ethos behind what we do. So it talks about not really, not wanting to be part of the hustle and doing things for the greater good and, all kinds of things. So that's what sets us apart. It's, I guess our USP. So, but the interesting thing about that is that's a really high converting page for us for people booking a discovery Zoom, because people read that, they go, actually, this is someone who I want to connect with. And then boom, they've booked that call, which is really, really great. So I know that this is the case because I study my analytics. And I know that that same page that I've had now for over 4 years has always been a very high performing page for me. Another one of mine is one of my blog posts, and it brings traffic from all over the show. And the reason being is people are typing into Google something in particular that they're looking for. They need an answer to it. And my blog is providing that answer in the title, might I add. So therefore, boom, it brings the traffic over. So tens of thousands of numbers of traffic are coming to the site due to that one blog and due to that one page, the why and what of us. So I might think it's something else entirely, but unless I study those analytics, then I can't know what to do more of and what to do less of.
I love that. So here's the random question. We have a website, people can find our website. That's a great thing. We talked yesterday in a workshop I was in, saying one of the people who are in the workshop said, we always get unsure when we have clients who bid and come to us for work, and then we try and find them online and they don't have a website, and we think, why is that? And it was really interesting hearing that from a client's perspective, saying, yeah, we don't really trust people who don't at least have some online presence, because we want to know they're existing, right? So I have a website, people can come to it. What does it matter if one page is converting higher and is got, like, why does it really matter if they're performing? What does that mean for our business?
Because it's all about how we're being found. So let me give a little example of a blog I wrote the other day for a dance school in New Zealand, ballroom and Latin American dancing. So the blog post I wrote was 5 reasons or 9 or whatever it was of why you need to date your partner after you've had children. So what happens is you're having issues with your partner at home, you know, you're not connecting, or your kids are driving you crazy and you feel like you've lost what you had before you had kids, and it was just the drama and the whatever. And so you're Googling, what can we do as a partnership to keep, you know, we're really, really struggling here. So whatever it is that you're putting into Google, this blog post is going to come up. You're going to get to it. You're going to read 9 reasons you need to be dating your partner after you've had kids. Then the article goes into, here are some great ideas for things that you can do at very low cost to make sure that you're dating your partner and having fun together. And of course, what's the top one? Join a dance class, click here for ballroom and Latin American dance classes, and you can try free intro night, blah, blah, blah. And obviously it mentions picnics and it mentions this and this and this. So the good thing about that is that's driving traffic that A, is traffic that's actually looking for this exact problem, which they can solve. But B, it's also driving traffic that never knew about them existing before. And that's the key, is that everything we do in digital marketing, whether it's our social media, whether it's our email marketing, whatever it is, needs to be driving traffic to our website so that they can take action, whatever it is we want them to do. So by us getting new traffic that we're attracting because of the blog posts we're writing or the articles we've got out there, that's really good, because what do we all need? We all need customers. We all need clients. So yeah, traffic is people, and people can be clients and customers.
I love that. And so we don't really think about that, because I mean, when I started my business, when I started my website, someone said to me, what was your, and this is before you and I met, what was your website for? And I was like, it's kind of just a digital business card. It's like, I really just want it so people know I exist, that I'm actually a company. They can get a little bit of information about me, but you know, that's really all it was for. And it wasn't until I met you that I was like, well, actually, what is my website really for? Why did I spend the time and money creating it? Why do we update it? Why do we make sure it's relevant? And we don't think about that other end of it. We spend so much time at the front end making it look pretty and have all the information. We stop to think, is this actually working for the business? And I think that's such an important point you've made, is that we have to really consider, is this working for us? It might look pretty, it might be amazing, but are you getting the conversions? Is it actually giving you customers? And if it's not, what do we need to change? So what do we need to stop doing, and what do we need to start doing on our website to really help us build that pipeline of customers? Because it really should work for us, shouldn't it?
Yes, it should. And I'm going to read this little thing out. So we had a speaker last night at our Positive Passionate Businesswomen's meetup, and it was Phoebe Dre, who is just incredible, all things to do with finance, etc. She was actually saying these 3 lines to do with expenses, but I'm just going to take the word expenses out and just say this is all about business. So basically, is what we're doing creating you more income, saving you time, or saving you money? It needs to do one of those 3 things. So if your website is sitting there, which is an expense, which is, you know, really it's a living entity, it needs to be constantly moving forward and, you know, evolving. So is it doing one of those things? Is it saving you time? Is it saving you money? Or is it creating you more income? And of course, traffic to your site, if your site is sitting dormant with not the traffic that you need, then what good is it doing? It's really more of just a hindrance than a help.
It's almost like that kind of stock that sits on, if you have a physical shop, it's the stock that sits on the shelf and might look good, but no one ever wants to buy. And
Absolutely.
so it's just taking up space, taking up time, collecting dust, but not actually adding value as an asset. Whereas I think that's important, is your website is an asset for your business. I think if we change the conversation, say it's an asset to the business, and if you have an asset, you need to watch it, look at it, analyze it, understand if it's growing, understand if it's working for you. So what are some of the ways that we can do that through the analytics through our website? So if you're new to this and you're like, how do I find the website analytics? What do you use to track your analytics?
Well, all platforms have their own analytics for starters. You can, of course, use Google Analytics, free, but I really like to jump into the back of mine, which is Shopify, or some of my clients, it's Wix or WordPress or whatever. So jump into the back and check out what is going on. Check out those most viewed pages. Check out the pages that people are landing on, the time that they're spending on those pages, because it's one thing to get traffic to your site. It's another thing to have them stay there. So what we want to make sure we're doing on every page is there's some kind of call to action where something they're doing and then they need to do the next thing. So with my blog post at the very bottom of that page, it's giving them another 2 options of blog posts. So people can actually spend a very long time on my site, which is great. And they just keep moving around it. And that's telling the Google algorithm that my site is valuable and it's worthy of being pushed up the rankings.
I love that. I love that.
Keywords that I want to be found for. So you might have a website that you've put so much time and effort into, but you haven't actually looked at your analytics to know, what should I do more of? What should I do less of? So for example, they're liking a couple of those blog posts. I need to do more of those, or I need to refresh those ones and redate them and put them out there so that, you know, they're new and they look like I actually spent some time lately updating my stuff. And so otherwise, if you have a website that you're not updating, that's sitting there a bit dormant, you're not going to be showing up on the Google ranking ladder where you want to be. And really, if you're page 5, that's 5 pages too far down the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I think that idea of saying, you know, refreshing blogs, we talked about blogs last week, about the importance of actually constantly refreshing your blogs, even if they're your highest converting ones, you know, making sure that they're still kind of refreshed and new and current. So that tip of, you know, even just changing an update on it so that that refreshes on your screen to say it's a, you know, it was published this month instead of 4 years ago, if it's a high converting one, is a really great way for people to know that they're getting the right information. So we go to the website, we have a look at those analytics. What are some of the reasons people bounce off the page or leave the page? What are some of the, other than the fact that it doesn't suit them, but if they like you, why might they not convert or, you know, connect with you?
Maybe you're, it sounds terrible, but maybe it's just boring.
Yeah.
When I get to a website and I'm really compelled by the title maybe of a blog post or an article or something, maybe I've seen it on socials or whatever, and I click through and it's a massive block of text and it's too small, just like, forget it. I want bullet points, I want images, I want graphics or whatever, I maybe even want a video. Whatever it is, you need to make it compelling to read, not just the content, but the way that we actually absorb what we're going to read. So that for me is a massive part of it, is why I would bounce off and go, oh, I'll come back to that later on when my eyes aren't quite so fatigued. And, you know, hello, I'm 49. I don't want point size 10. I want point size 18. So, you know, you definitely got to think from that perspective, is what does it actually look like? Number 2 is, and this often happens, is that you click a link that you see something really intriguing that you want to know more about, and it's literally to something that has nothing. It was just clickbait, basically.
Yeah.
So that's another
I hate
way.
that.
Look, we bounce off it super quick, which is not good at all. So Kylie says it's a great reframe. The website is an asset to your business. Totally. So the one, I think that I've mentioned it last week, in fact, 2 of them. Actually, I'll tell you the top 3. So I recently just refreshed them. Number 1 is 5 reasons why you shouldn't delete your old Instagram posts, and 5 ways to change your feed to reflect your style. So I updated it last week, that one. That's been at least 4, if not 5 years that we've had that blog going. But it needed updating. Then there was one of the Instagram accounts that I thought was amazing that I linked to, that I went and checked, and it wasn't so amazing anymore. So I removed it and I put something else in there in its place. Also, we don't so much talk about the theme anymore. We talk about the aesthetic. So I changed some of the words around that as well. And I also remembered to put in there, actually, I'm still seeing people posting squares on Instagram. They're not posting.
I know, I'm one of those. We're moving, we're changing, but I'm one of those people.
And so the reality is, like I said last week or something, it's like, so 2019, which is not true. It's really 2022 beginning of. But, you know, but things change, and it's so important to change with the times so you don't look dated.
But even after that conversation, I know slightly off the bounce rate, but one of my clients have actually, she's just started getting on social media, and he's just about to launch her business. It's kind of still in the kind of baby stages, so I won't mention the name. But when she was finding though that when she looked through her Instagram page, she was getting massive hits onto her kind of temporary website off every reel. So the static posts were getting very little about. On the days that she was putting a standard post, she maybe get 1 or 2, but on the days that she put the reel, the number of people that were going to check out the website were literally in the 50s and 60s. And this is a website that is like 3 pages. It's not actually currently, you know, fully operational. We haven't published it, you know, or promoted it at all. yet people are going there. So that idea of what's working for her, and that's the conversation, if reels are working for you, let's increase the number of reels that you have, because that's what's coming to. So we're hearing and we're listening to you and the great advice. But one of the things that I want to talk about in terms of bounce rate is there's no way to connect you. How many times have you've been to a website and there's no button to connect? There's the contact us form is hidden somewhere, or is just terrible, or doesn't have one, or there isn't even like a button to say, hey, do you want to book an appointment? Click here. You have to go through like, email me and I'll help you. Like, I don't want to email you. I just want to do it now.
Totally. Before we talk about that though, let's just mention what you were mentioning before, which is about that client of yours and knowing that she needed to do more reels. Why did she know that? Because she looked at her stats, she looked at her analytics, she looked at her insights, and she went, wow, look what's happening when I post reels compared to the other. But that said, not all reels are going to be unicorns. Some reels, some of mine just are terrible. They just bomb. And I'm like, what do you mean? That was so good. So it doesn't mean I should give up on that one. I really am going to edit it. I'm going to post it again in a few more weeks. I'm going to choose maybe a different audio to go with it, or maybe I'm going to choose the different caption or whatever it is that I want to change up. But yeah, don't give up on what you're putting out there. Just test it and try again. But look at your analytics, because it's the way you're going to know, was it good? Did it work? Did it not work? Should I do more of that? Should I do less of that? But what you were saying was getting to your website and then no way for people to contact you. Yes, indeed. So for example, in your bio, for example, on Instagram, and you're getting people to your website, do you want them to contact you? Do you want to link them to your contact page? Do you want to actually instead link them somewhere else entirely? Like, things to consider. But in terms of getting people to your site, but then what are you wanting them to do?
Yeah.
So if you're wanting them to connect with you further, then to me, excuse me, the absolute number one priority should be getting their email address. So how are you doing that? You've obviously got to be giving them some kind of awesome, enticing offer, like some kind of lead magnet. Yeah. So that's really, really super important. So when they come to your site, how are they going to connect with you? If you get their email address, then you can send them an email and say, hey, follow us on Facebook, da, 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 da. But yeah, you're right. At the very, very least, you need to have all your social links up there so that people know how to connect. And most people look for those on the top right of a site or in the footer. So ideally, if you can have them on both, that's great.
Yeah. And I think there's some of the things, I think the website, having in the last couple of weeks talking to clients and talking about this, and we've been talking about this for some time, about making sure that what we're doing is working for our business. And yeah, and as Kylie said, and we said earlier, that having your website and recognizing that it's an asset that can actually serve your business and not just make you look good to prospective clients is a really important mind shift that we need to make, to say that how do we constantly, we manage our products, we do product reviews all the time, we do pricing reviews all the time, we change our socials all the time, we look at our communications all the time, and we're doing that on a regular basis. The website just needs to be popped into that kind of mix, isn't it, on a weekly basis, to say, what are we doing? And even if it's a monthly basis, like depending on the traffic that you're getting and the service you're in, but having that regular check-in to review, and then checking in with, matching it across your socials, matching it across when you're sending information out, is such an important aspect of maintaining, success in your business.
Yes, absolutely it is. So yeah, I think exactly what I've said, you'd said, and then Kylie reiterated, is that the website is an asset and it needs to be rejuvenated, regenerated, bit of love gone into it. So yeah, definitely. So I'm not going to do that though until I've looked at my analytics and seen what are people already liking. What then do I need to do more of? I forgot to mention my other two that was super well performing. The second one is the why and the how, refresh your blog posts. And the third one is that latest image sizes for social media platforms. You notice that that's not one of those blogs is me tooting my trumpet saying, have coaching with me or join my program or whatever. It was all about giving free advice, free value for people that I know everyone's asking the question of. Yeah. So think about in your business, and like that example I gave before of that dance studio, they weren't saying you must do this dancing. We're the best dance studio. No, they were saying something completely different, but it was going to be bringing in that new audience. Yeah. So have a think about everybody. I put a challenge out to you. What's a blog post that you can write this week that's answering questions that your audience has? And of course, you've got to do a whole lot of research to find out what that will be. But then once you've done that research and you've written that blog post, then see what new traffic it's going to bring you. And of course, put it out in your socials, put it in your newsletter, put it everywhere.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. So that's a great challenge for everyone, is to have a look at your analytics, go into your website. And even if it's a MailChimp, like my colleague at the moment's only got a MailChimp site, doesn't matter what platform you currently have it on, there'll be that analytics tab. And it's designed for people who don't know anything about, it's designed for as simply as possible. So anybody can really read and understand it. You don't need to have that kind of, an engineering degree to understand your analytics. It's designed, and particularly the Google dashboards I know are set up incredibly easily for people to read and watch, and with fabulous graphics like we talked about. So I can just do a snapshot. I don't have to analyze the data myself. I can look at really cool, pie charts and graphs very simply on those platforms. So definitely worth taking a look at this week, is to check to make sure that your business website, or your website at all, is, and also your socials, but that your analytics are performing for you, or your website's performing for you.
Awesome. Then we can know going forward, what should we do more of, or what should we do less of?
What should we do less of? Yeah.
None of us want to be wasting our time. Time is money, time is energy. So let's use it wisely.
Perfect advice. I think that's phenomenal. So if people want to read your blogs, other than the links that we've shared in this chat today, or get in contact with you, book the discovery call to talk through things like your analytics or your digital marketing strategy, how do we get in contact with you, Kylie?
hellomedia.team, and reach out, book a discovery Zoom, or jump into our socials, particularly the Hello Media Facebook group, where I'm sharing tips and tricks and whatnot. And what about you, Jenny? How can people connect with you?
Easiest way is at Elephant in the Room AU. That gets you to my Facebook or my Insta profiles. And from there, you can jump onto our website, see what we do. Also book a discovery call and connect with us, which we would love to chat about how to kind of set up your business and provide you some more clarity in the way that you work.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks so much. I can't wait to connect with you next week. Hopefully, we're going to be talking about data, privacy, and all of that. I'm going to get off now and go and get a message to him right now.
Sounds awesome. Have an amazing day, guys.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Bye. Mwah. See you.